Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be presenting here. Can you hear me well? Can you hear me too well? Thank you. So I'm very happy to be presenting here. TESOL Greece was the place, the conference I started giving presentations, so it always means a lot to me. Today I'm going to be talking about digital identity. Why digital identity? I've been working a lot lately on digital citizenship, an approach aimed at educating, at empowering students and teachers to use technology ethically, responsibly, and safely. And also, that was the topic of my research thesis. And I always suggest that part of the solution lies in understanding who we are online and understanding the implications of our online existence. So this interactive talk is designed to help educators explore the benefits, explore the opportunities and challenges of existing online, and also to suggest ways that these can be monitored and managed. So these questions will be addressed. What is digital identity? How many digital identities can we have? What are some potential opportunities and perils of existing online? Why is it important to manage who we are online? And what are some ways this can be achieved? So by the end of the session, hopefully, you will be able to answer all the questions. Regarding the last one, I'm going to suggest 5 ways, but I will also encourage you to make your own informed decisions. Okay, so question number 1, what is digital identity? Any ideas? It's who you are. Thank you, Burcu. Who you are online. Absolutely. So it might be a bit more complicated. Let's take a look at some definitions. According to James et al., digital identity is the ego itself and how oneself is represented and managed online. Short and sweet, it gives us some insights, but I think we still have some questions. What is ego? What is ego online? Does it comprise the things that I post about me, the things that other people post about me? Both? What do you think? You think both, and you're right. Exactly, and you're right. So this is a synthesis. This is another definition, a synthesis. Digital identity is the sum of all digitally available information about an individual, irrespective of its degree of validity, its form, and its accessibility. So whatever you do online, whether it is public or private, is part of your digital identity, is part of who you are. It comprises everything that can be found about us, from the content we create or share to what other people post about us. So it is not only what I post about myself, but also what other people say about me online. And it is becoming increasingly traceable due to the rapid growth of available data and the big data capacities to process it. So what you do online can be tracked and found. It sounds a bit scary, but I think it's not that scary. Now, question number 2. How many digital identities can we have? 1? Many? What do you think? So endless. Anyone else? As many as we can track. Thank you, Sylvia. According to the literature, we can have as many partial identities as we want, but we can only have one digital identity. So digital selves or partial identities are subsets of a complete digital identity. Each one represents the person in a specific space or role. It can be Facebook, it can be Twitter, it can be your email, and they may or may not be similar from space to space. So one digital identity, but as many partial identities as you want. The question is, who are you online? This is not an easy question, I know. And to help you answer it, I will try and share part of my digital identity. So while I'll be talking about me, I want you to reflect on your digital identity, if you have one, and on the way it is formed. Okay? So my partial identities. Facebook, where I post both professional and personal stuff. My blog, purely professional. My Instagram, you can see for yourselves, dogs, cats, personal. My LinkedIn profile, not very active, not at all interactive, just the space for me to upload my bio, my CV for anyone who is interested. My YouTube account, my Twitter account, purely professional. My Scoopit, I curate content and people follow me. I follow other people back because I'm interested in the content they curate. And Academia Edu, people follow me because they're interested in academia and research, and I follow other people back. But there's more. It's what other people say about you, and here Janet Bioncini says, "Congrats to Sophia Mav. I really enjoyed attending your excellent presentation." Sophia Mav, it's me on Twitter. You may have noticed that I have carefully selected what to show you here. Everything is nice and wonderful and congrats. So I can control what you see here about me, but I cannot equally control what you see online once it's been posted. So this is something that we always need to consider. And there's more. What can be inferred about me? My searches, my likes, my purchases. I'm looking for a ticket to Manchester. Probably I'm going to Manchester. Probably. Okay, what else can be inferred about me? My interests. My sexual orientation, my educational background, because of the way I write. So all these form my digital identity, not because of what I say, but because of what can be inferred about me. There was an old joke back in the 90s. Two dogs in front of a computer. One dog tells the other, "On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog," suggesting that you can be whatever you say you are. And this was partly true, but there is a millennium version, an updated version, that goes like, "On the internet, nobody knows you're a dog, but they know you buy dog food." What does this mean? Everyone understands you're a dog because of the things you buy. So the things that can be inferred about you might be more important than the things you actually say. And this is something that we all need to know. And the promises and perils of existing online. As I said before, this area is massive. And research is still emerging with diverse understandings about the promises and the risks. What I'm going to do today is share with you the promises and risks that I think educators should be aware of, but bear in mind that this list is by no means exhaustive. So first of all, why digital identity is different from our physical identity, from our offline identity. Because of these characteristics, there are certain characteristics. First of all, persistence. The content created or shared is not ephemeral, but persists indefinitely. This is not a bad thing, this is a good thing because it allows asynchronous communications to take place, but it can also create risks. Visibility. It can be accessed by a wider audience and be seen both by intended but also invisible viewers. So you don't actually know who is going to see the content you upload or share. Spreadability. It is so easy to download, replicate or share because digital media actually encourage people to spread content via built-in buttons. Share on Facebook, share on Twitter, send to a friend via email. And finally, searchability. Search engines allow people to find information at the click of a button. So you can be tracked and found. All these affordances are really powerful. They can contribute to learning, but they can also be used for negative purposes, such as to spread rumors or to create a digital footprint that might be impossible to remove. Talking about opportunities, I think what is digital footprint? What is digital footprint? Great question, and I'm sorry I haven't clarified. So digital footprint. The trails that you leave behind. Whatever you do, you leave trails. Sorry? Like the history. Whatever you do online, this is your digital footprint. Because, as we said, everything we do can be tracked. It's traceable. And it's becoming increasingly more traceable. So, talking about opportunities, the first thing that comes to mind is learning and participatory cultures. Digital media allow participatory cultures where people are not passive consumers of knowledge, but they also create, curate, and share. This is a very, very active process. And also, open access to information. We live in the era of open access, aren't we? So open access to information can lead to greater knowledge and richer intellectual exchanges. So huge learning opportunities. And self-expression. As we said, we share, we create and share. We can experiment with art, we can experiment with photography, with poetry. We can adopt different writing styles. We can express our opinions, our concerns. Never before have we had so many opportunities to have a voice and be heard by a wider audience and diverse audience beyond the boundaries of our physical space. And self-reflection, online expression is more deliberate, more intentional and more conscious. Why? Because we have time to think about what to say and how to say it. Danai Boyd says that digital identities have to write themselves into being. And this is true. We write all the time. We write emails, we tweet, we write messages, we text, we write comments, we write blog posts, we write. This is good. This can encourage reflection. And reflection can be good for us as individuals, but also it can be good for our community. For example, if I'm a reflective teacher, this is good for me, but it is also good for my PLN, the network of teachers that I'm connected to, and most of all, my students. And feedback. Human development occurs in a social context and is helped by feedback, positive or negative. In the past, I could only get feedback from my teachers, my family, my friends. But now, I can update my status, I can write a blog post, I can write a tweet, and I get immediate feedback. by a diverse audience. And this is really, really powerful. Not always a bed of roses, however. Experimenting with radically different identities can lead to fragmented identities. As Turkle said, without any principle of coherence, the self spins in all directions. Multiplicity is not viable if it means shifting among personalities that cannot communicate. So our digital identities should be coherent. We may experiment with partial identities, and they may be slightly different, but our digital identities should be coherent. The performative element, I think this is very serious. We all perform roles, but forming digital identities because we want to attract or entertain an audience may undermine the degree to which an individual can engage in self-reflection. What does this mean? Existing online just to impress, just to be liked, may mean that self-promotion is more valued or urgent than learning. And this may be serious and problematic, and we see it quite often, I think. I don't know if you have noticed. You nod, yes. Tethering. In internet jargon, this term is used to refer to connecting one device to another, but it is also used to refer to the nearly constant sharing of information and connectivity to others online. This. So people's need to continuously signal their location, their mood, what they eat, what they do, how they feel. All this may set the stage for an over-reliance on feedback, which can undercut autonomy. Also, they may develop a strong desire for positive feedback and praise, which may consider as unhealthy. We see that a lot to young people, but I think that this is something that we also need to know as educators. Too much connectivity can be negative. Last but definitely not least, digital identity as the currency of the digital market. This is a tricky one, and I'm not going to go into much detail here other than to say that nothing comes free to you. The information you provide is your currency. All the services that you enjoy, Facebook, email, etc., you pay with your personal information. This can be used for good purposes, but it can also be unscrupulously traded and abused. It is beyond the scope of this session to elaborate on the implications of this, because this is a session for teachers and about education. I just want to say that not all implications are negative. You, as consumers, you will spend your currency when the deals are right. And as people become increasingly aware of that, this is the biggest challenge for all stakeholders, how to establish a trusted flow of this data. So not all implications are negative. And moving on to the second part of this presentation. Sharing, oversharing, or undersharing? Where do you stand? And where should we stand as educators and as professionals? I would like you to talk to the person next to you or to the people next to you, so pairs or groups of 3 or 4, and discuss these questions, and then we are going to group together. When does sharing becomes oversharing? How might this affect your credibility or authority as an educator and professional? Do you tend to share less for fear of exposure? What does it say about someone if they have limited digital presence in a digital age. Okay, so please form your group. George, can you please work with Burju? Thank you. Anyone else who doesn't have a partner? Excellent. So 2 minutes for that. Great. Look, you can work with Zafi. Yeah. What question are you? What question are you? What question are you? The third. Okay, can you hear me now? Yes. Okay, so when does sharing become oversharing? Any ideas? When does sharing become oversharing? Please? Uh-huh. This rings some bells, yes. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Very good point. Anything else? Yes, please. Very good. Yeah. Thank you. Very good point. Maria? Uh-huh. Very good. So I'll give you my reply, my answer to this later on. But I agree with all of you who expressed your opinion. How might this affect your credibility or authority as an educator? Please? Exactly. Absolutely. Thank you very much for pointing this out. Yes, Sylvia, do you want to add anything? Sorry, I thought you raised your hand. No? Sorry, that's okay. So, and I need to add here that a lot of teachers have been fired because of oversharing. This sounds, again, a bit scary, and I don't want to scare you out, but this is true, right? So oversharing can have negative implications. Do you tend to share? Yes, please? Of course, of course. I will cover this later on. Thank you for this point. Very good point. Do you tend to share less for fear of exposure? Yes. Do you censor yourselves? We all do. But does this lead you? Sorry. Yes? You don't? Uh-huh. Is it an informed decision or just you don't because you don't? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 To balanced, exactly. Do you think that undersharing, do you think that censoring yourself leads you, makes you to undersharing? And do you think that, what does this it say about someone if they have limited digital presence in a digital age? What do you think about that? Without being judgmental, we are not judgmental here, just ideas, yes? Mm-hmm. 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 Okay, I think I'm going to cover this point later on. Maria, what does it say about someone if they have limited digital presence in a digital age? Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's, uh-huh. I see. You get hooked. Yeah, yeah. So what about the last question? What does it say about someone who has zero or very limited digital presence? Yes. George. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Was that a question? Can you repeat it, please? Uh-huh. So you believe that introverted people tend to share more online. That's a good point. I'm an extroverted person and I do share things online, so I'm not so sure. Have you read some research regarding this, or this is that just an assumption? Okay, yeah. I'm not very sure about that, judging from myself and my students. Yes, please. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. That was a very good point. And let me just add something here. There's some research in the USA exploring people's perceptions, employers' perceptions. So people who have zero digital presence or very limited digital presence are perceived as suspicious or ignorant in a digital age. As you said, of course we should respect people's choice, and once this choice is informed, it goes without saying that everybody can do whatever they want, but it needs to be informed, so we need to know what people may assume about us. And some people say that part of the solution lies in having separate professional and personal digital identities. Do you think this, according to what you've heard so far, do you think this is possible? Yes. No. I'm sorry. No. The lines between professional and personal social media use are increasingly blurred and may not even exist in the near future. You may personalize or professionalize your accounts and your partial identities, but your digital identity is only one. And as the bits of information about you grow and combine, a complete picture of you emerges. And what may be surprising is how accurate and traceable this picture is. So believing that we can actually have separate professional and personal digital identities may be an illusion. But we can always personalize and professionalize our accounts. So what should we do? This is the big question. What should we do? This is not something anyone can give a definite view on, but I think it's sensible to consider changes in society and social norms when designing our digital identities. One thing is for certain, norms are changing. We used to perceive privacy in a very different way. We are gradually creating a culture of disclosure. And I'll give you a very recent example. Last week, I was giving a keynote presentation in Istanbul. The next day, that was on Saturday, the next day, on Sunday, I had to be, I participated in the 6th forum here in a panel discussion. So the people from the audience who saw me in the panel discussion, people I'm not connected to and people I didn't know asked me, "How did you make it here? You were in Istanbul yesterday, weren't you?" They probably knew that because of what their network of teachers had shared. And I'm not famous, of course. So we have talked about spreadability and how news is spread. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but as Dr. Williams suggests, society and the social web is still very young, and society is still adjusting to these new possibilities, new abilities that we have. So the real problem for all those of us who seek to make the most out of the opportunities offered by social media and technology is to try and judge what the mood will be like in the future. So How can we make the most out of the opportunities online without harming our credibility and our authority as professionals and teachers? I'm going to share with you five suggestions. First of all, build up your personal identity. Build it up. Build up your brand. Make it easy for people to find you online. Make it easy for them to take a look at your work. I'm not suggesting that you should be creating accounts and digital identities in order to impress potential employers and colleagues. We see a lot of this nowadays, but in my opinion, this is not the way to go. It looks fake and pretentious. Be genuine, as you suggested. Be genuine, be original. Promote your work, but don't bombard your network with your achievements. Join knowledge communities, learn from and with others. And this will provide a fantastic role model to your students who are also struggling to create their own digital identities, and a lot of negative things are going on there because there is no information. Stay informed because you will need to make informed decisions. And because this area is still emerging, and because the digital landscape is ever changing. Google yourself. Have you ever Googled yourself? Maria, every day? Bravo, Maria. Have you ever Googled yourself? Yes. Well done. Yes. So people Google people all the time. So Google yourself frequently. Not only the first page, second page, third page, fourth page. So see what other people will see when they Google you. And if you're on Twitter, follow this hashtag digital identity because you will keep up to date with research. This is my answer to a question. Consider everything you do online as public. Even a private message or an email should be considered as such, because it is so easy to take a screenshot and send to someone else. It is so easy to forward an email and send to someone else. So don't share secrets online. Don't talk negatively about people online. It may be used against you. Don't get into heated arguments online. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. It can be creative and it can generate discussion, but don't get into heated arguments because you will never, ever be able to take everything you said back. And let's take a look at some internet jargon. Flaming. Insulting interaction between internet users. And trolling. What is trolling? What is a troll? Can you recognize trolls? We have a lot of trolls these days. What is a troll? Huh? Ah. Uh-huh. Is it a person or a language? What is a troll? What is a troll? Uh-huh. Okay, yes, thank you. So, a troll is a person who deliberately posts messages online with the intention of causing argument, of upsetting people, of pissing people off. They may be very well educated, so it's not so easy to recognize them. Mm-hmm. Yes. So don't you ever respond back, block them or report them, but never ever respond. Their very existence depends on this. They exist to piss people off. And never respond to them. They will bring you down to their level and beat you with experience. And my answer to the first question, when sharing is oversharing, don't get too personal. Now, what is too personal? This is subjective because it depends on a number of variables such as culture, ethnicity, age, educational background. But use common sense. Don't post your date of birth, I mean the full one, the year. This is sensitive information. It can lead to the identity theft. Don't tag your home location. People may break into your house. It sounds scary. I don't want to scare you off, but we need to know these things. Don't tag where you live. Don't post inappropriate pictures. Again, what is inappropriate is subjective. What is inappropriate for you might not be inappropriate for me. Just 2 minutes. Thank you. But again, just a second please, but use common sense. Don't post revealing pictures. We are professionals. Don't post pictures in your bikinis or swimsuits. You wouldn't come here in your bikini, so why would the whole world see you like this? And of course your students. Embarrassing drunken photos, you mentioned that. This sets such a bad example to your students, so a big no-no. Don't update your relationship statuses every month. Again, no problem with that. You can have as many partners as you want, but keep it offline. Political religious beliefs, I'm not so sure about that. People say that it's part of your identity, so it's okay to share. Whatever you decide, to me, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages, but it's up to you to decide. Whatever you decide, don't get into heated arguments and don't try to convince people that you're right and they're wrong. Too many selfies. There's a joke that I want to share with you. I swear we won't forget what you look like if you stop posting selfies on Facebook every second. So don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that you should not be posting selfies. Selfies are part of our culture. We post selfies and take selfies simply because we can. Older generations couldn't, but don't cross the line. Research suggests that people's need to post too many selfies may indicate a desperate need for attention. So don't cross the line. And I want to draw this presentation to a close with 2 thoughts. The first one is that digital identity is going to be a new discipline. So be prepared to hear a lot about that in the future. And the last one says that we may be the content we create. So let's try to make this content, let's try to make our digital identities trustworthy and positive and meaningful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm afraid you were a fantastic audience, so lively and so interactive and so many questions, but I'm afraid do I have time? No, not at all. Thank you. So no time. So I would really love to continue the discussion. You know where to find me. And there is a handout for you. If you visit my blog, you will find the handout if you want to read more about digital identity. Thank you very much. Thank you.